Hello and welcome to Daybreak Fraser Valley Weekend. I'm Carrie Moore.
And I'm Kelly Patton.
On the show this week, our guest is Ron Plowright of Plowright & Associates Realty. He will be giving us a heads up on what's going on this spring in the real estate market in the Valley.
We'll also have an interview with musician, politician, business guru Jared Mumford, all this morning, as well as the news and what's going on this weekend.
So go grab a cup of coffee or tea and get ready for 20 or so minutes that'll give you a kickstart to your weekend.
We will be right back.
So, welcome back. How was your week?
It was a great week.
Yeah?
Yeah, lots of rain.
Which wasn't great for spring break.
But we need the water,
We
right?
do.
So spring break is coming to an end, and
water here means snow, which means water later.
Here's hoping. So I live up at the lake, which you know, and I have to say, between the rain and spring break traffic and everything, we have a lot of construction happening on Columbia Valley Road. So I just wanted to take a minute though, because Little Bear Contracting is doing all of this construction with culverts, because we know with the atmospheric river and all the flooding how important culverts are. And can I just say, they're doing a fantastic job at keeping people moving.
That's important.
Like, that's one way in, one way out. And of course you have to be patient and you have to drive carefully, but they really are doing a fantastic job. And on spring break, that's no easy feat.
Yeah.
So,
and it's better to get it done now than halfway through the summer.
yeah. So kudos to you guys for working so hard, especially in the rain.
Yeah. So did you pretty much stay at home then and avoid the traffic?
No, I was up and down like twice a day. But how about you? What'd you do this week?
Well, I had family come from out of town, so yeah, we just went to the mall, did some local shopping. It was kind of nice.
You were saying 1881, right?
Yes.
Pokemon store?
Pokemon store.
Yeah.
Made a killing there. Stood out in the rain for a while. Yeah.
Pokemon is a whole thing in our house. And I mean, even growing up, I'm not that old, I guess.
And it's still around.
It's very much around. Did you go through that phase
With the cards.
with the
and
kids? Not only that, but the app where people were walking into
I
polls.
know. It was, I worked at the museum for a while, and there was always, it must have been a station, because there was always some people out there.
There was a
Checking in.
Pokestop right there.
Yeah.
So that's still a thing too, but I'm not seeing as many people wander into traffic. So just
That's good, yes.
if you are still playing, please keep an eye on your surroundings.
Exactly. And spring break's ending today, right? They go back on Monday?
They go back on Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, for the K to 12 crew, the university crew have been in the whole time. Their reading week was before, but they're coming up. It's almost the end of the semester at the universities.
Wow, that goes so fast.
I know, but I mean, in our house that means I get one of my littles back, not so little back for the summer. So
Excellent. And then he goes away.
in September again. Yeah,
Empty
but
nesting.
it's gonna be fun. And do you have anything planned this weekend?
Not really, no. I'm having, my kitchen's being redone, so hopefully it'll be all finished and I can start moving everything back in.
Construction drama. It's everywhere. It's on our roads and in our kitchens.
Exactly.
All right.
So news stories. Anything?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
an election was called.
Yes. Yes, shocker. We knew it was coming.
We did. And I mean, knowing that we knew it was coming, I have to admit I'm a little surprised that we don't yet know all of our candidates.
That is strange. Have some cities got them all, or is it we're waiting on all of them?
I mean, in the Valley, it's pretty hit or miss. So, there's 2 ridings in Abbotsford, and they don't have all of their people yet. We know that Chilliwack, we have, we're still missing a Liberal candidate. And there's lots of speculation on social media in Abbotsford and Chilliwack about is there going to be another candidate. But yeah, the riding boundaries changed for this election too.
They keep doing that, just to keep people on their toes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we want everybody's vote, one vote, to have about the same power. So they do it based on population. They have to change it up. But
And sometimes the lines, you're like, could you just have kept that guy's house in with this one? But it's like they don't actually look where the people live.
the commissions, I think, do the best they can, but you're not wrong. It can be a little weird sometimes. But the Chilliwack Hope riding is bigger. There's 2 ridings in Abbotsford, one that kind of includes some of Langley, one that includes Mission. So if you're not sure, go online, or I'm sure we'll be talking about it more, but I want to see if anyone else is announcing this week.
And it is coming up quick, April 28th.
April 28th, which, can I just say, my kid, my daughter's going to be 18 this year, and she was so looking forward to voting in her first election. She's going to miss it by like 2 weeks.
So her birthday is in May.
It's in May. So, you know, that's a little bit of drama, just in case.
She's just like, why couldn't you have waited? I want to vote.
Yeah. So there's been some other stuff too. What we were talking about that 5-year-old, and a 5-year-old we talked about last week, but
different 5-year-old, but still very scary situation.
So what happened?
A 5-year-old got exposed to fentanyl in their home, so they were rushed to the hospital, and thankfully they're okay now. And it just is amazing that a lot of people don't realize even just touching fentanyl, like they didn't have to ingest or. Yeah, just touching it gets into your skin and it causes you to overdose.
Absolutely. And it doesn't take a lot. So I know that we talk throughout the community about the toxic drug crisis and how important it is to be able to access supports. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of the overdoses that are happening, they're happening in homes.
Yeah.
So somebody using alone in their den or their basement or something. Yeah. So these things, I'm so glad that they were able to help that kid, but so that people know, if you need help, you can go to helpstartshere.gov.bc.ca, call 1-800-663-1441. If you need help, please reach out.
There's lots of supports out there.
There are. Yeah. So, but really, really grateful that 5-year-old's okay. Yeah. Don't hesitate. Any exposure to fentanyl for anyone, seek medical attention immediately. Yeah. So, but through your skin, that's
very, it's not okay.
So scary.
Yeah.
So there's been some heavy stuff this week. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, there was also some good stuff happening though.
There is.
At UFE.
Oh my gosh.
This was a good story.
So I'm a little bit excited about this, and it might seem like a weird thing to be excited about, but UFE is doing research on kids on how to get them to not fight over toys.
Yes.
So it's being led, I think it's a 5-year project by Dr. Madison Pasowski. And basically it's going to be looking at like when do kids develop a sense of ownership. Anyway.
Yeah.
I am just hoping that this is transferable when they say kids to teenagers.
Yes.
Maybe newlyweds.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, and I've done a lot of research myself because I've raised kids and taught parenting courses and stuff. And they've sort of figured out that 3-year-olds don't have the capability of knowing that that's theirs and this is mine. They think it's all mine.
It's all mine.
Yeah. So it would be great to figure out where in their brains they're learning how to realize that is yours and I can share that with you and what's mine is also yours. Yeah. And some kids are more giving than others. Some kids totally share. But
I think it's phases too, right? Yeah. Like I know kindergarten teachers, first of all, thank you. Because I can't imagine preschools, kindergarten, and it's about that socialization as well. But I'm really interested in this work because if we can, we have a lot of research around empathy and when we develop empathy, but if we can talk about not fighting over toys, I mean, think of how applicable that could be to our southern neighbors about, not fighting over everything, countries that aren't yours, borders.
Exactly. Yeah.
So...
Yeah, for sure. And I think if we can start teaching people younger, then as you grow older, you can be more loving and caring and sharing. And the research is the first step.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited it's happening at UFE. So not everybody knows. I mean, UFE goes from, all throughout the valley, right? And there's incredible centers. Yeah, like the Mission one was just redone, and that's education and like early childhood education. Like it's pretty awesome. We know the one in Chilliwack, it's awesome. The one in Abbotsford, big
it's amazing,
campus, and more housing going up, I think. But one of the things I hear over and over about is how fantastic the trades programs are as well. So here in Chilliwack, we're really lucky. We've got the big trades campus, the culinary.
Oh, I know. Sometimes program. They do the you can go and eat what they've cooked, and it's a set menu, but. That would be, I still want to try it out. Every time I go to do it, they've just finished.
Someone else cooking for you. And
yes, and they're learning how to cook. So
they're learning how to cook pretty impressive things with some pretty great ingredients.
And pretty great prices.
Yeah, between the agriculture programs and the trade programs and the culinary programs, I mean, just...
And getting women in trades. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So I think, there's a lot going on this week in the news, a lot of stories that came out, but... Yeah, I think I'm going to keep my eye on that not fighting thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we will be back after this with an interview with Ron Plowright. So stay tuned.
We Sunday driving, and the sun's bright shining. We load up the doggies, gas up our rifle. We're gonna hit that 4-lane, and then we are flying. We come alive when we Sunday driving.
Welcome back. Our guest this week is Ron Plowright from Ron Plowright and Associates. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. This week, we have Ron as our special guest because we want to talk a little bit about what's happening in the market in the Fraser Valley. And so you are an expert here. I know you work from like Abbotsford to Hope, I think. Yeah. So what's the situation right now with real estate in the Fraser Valley?
Yeah, so right now we finished the year last year with a really building some really good momentum in our market, and even in January of this year, we had some really good momentum being brought in our market in terms of unit sales. February brought quite a bit slower of a pace to our market, and that's mostly been due to the tariffs and the economic uncertainty that's happening with our neighbors down to the south. The numbers have shown that in February, and I think March will show the same, that the unit sales are down quite a bit. There is some uncertainty there, and buyers are kind of holding off on the sidelines, waiting to see what's going to happen. We've also just had a federal election announced, as everybody knows, and this does tend to have a bit of a slowing effect to our market. So it's a little on the soft side. Unit sales are down, inventory's up a little bit.
So it's definitely a buyer's market right now.
It's leaning towards a more balanced buyer's market. If you look at the numbers compared to last year and over the 10-year average, we're more so in balanced or buyer's market territory at the moment. Yeah.
So when you say it is softening, you mean houses are taking longer to sell? There are fewer.
There are more homes on the market and less sales taking place. Okay. So a prolonged activity or lack of activity with increased inventory may have a downward pressure effect on pricing. There's more to choose from and less people out there buying. Yeah. So that could have a downward effect on the pricing as we move forward. The hope is that the tariffs will be resolved quicker than longer, and we can get back to our spring market.
Amazing. So a lot of the sellers, are they having to lower their prices, or are they just taking things off the market?
Depends on your situation as a seller. Some folks are not willing to move from their number, and they're ending up just not selling and or taking their homes off the market. Other folks, invariably, there are going to be folks in situations where they're, for one reason or another, need to sell their property. And in many cases, those folks are having to make adjustments to their price in the lower direction in order to make a deal happen. You have to stand out as a good deal in these types of markets where there's less sales happening and more choice out there.
Great. Okay. Well, and right before the interview, we were talking, and you had some advice for first-time homeowners or home buyers.
Yeah, I always tell first-time home buyers, if you want to get into the market, don't try to, certainly take market conditions into account when you're going to buy something, but don't do this thing where you're just waiting for the market to crash, because by the time you realize it's down as low as it's going to go and it starts going back up, it's probably going back up, and you've missed that low point anyway. So my advice to people is you have to start somewhere. You're not going to be able, chances are, unless you're very, very lucky, you're not going to be able to buy your perfect home your first go around. But you're never going to be able to realize the increase the next time the market does go up and take advantage of that if you're not in the market. So my advice to first-time home buyers is always, if you qualify for the lending and it makes sense for you to buy now, get in so you can start building that equity and take advantage of the next time the market goes up. It is cyclical. It will go back up again. So if you're not in the market, you're not going to get that increase. You're just going to pay higher when you finally decide to get into the market. So that's definitely my advice for first-time home buyers.
Okay. And right now, are there more like townhomes, condominiums selling, or is it more residential actual homes?
The strongest sector of our market right now, as of February, which is our latest numbers, were actually townhomes. Townhomes were the only sector of the market where sales were up over last year, and they're taking the least amount of time to sell right now.
Okay.
Maybe those first time.
It's a good fit for first-time home buyers, especially if you have a young family. Often for young families, a condo is going to be too small of an option. So you can get into a decent townhome for a relatively affordable price range. So it attracts a lot of people who are either upgrading from condos or first-time buyers, or, pardon me, a lot of them are going directly into townhomes.
All right. Well, a lot of food for thought. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
my
for
pleasure.
coming in. It's great advice.
Good.
We're glad you could make it today. Is there anything else before we end that you think somebody should know if they're getting into the market?
Yeah, if you're getting into the market, it's really important to have a good team of professionals working with you. And by that, I mean, number one, mortgage broker, get qualified, know what you're qualified for, know what you can do. And number two, get with a realtor that's going to give you great service, great advice, and just be there for you through the whole time, whole process.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Daybreak. We are here with Jared Mumford. Jared and I met serving community, and really excited to hear what you have to share with us. But could you first introduce yourself to people who might not know?
Sure. I'm Jared Mumford. I grew up in Chilliwack, moved out of town for a couple years, and then came back to start my family and buy a house and start my business. I wear a few hats in community service out here, and I'm a lifelong musician.
Excellent. Music is your passion, right?
It is, and it's a convenient tie-in to what we're talking about today.
It really is. So, what have you come to tell us all about? I'm pretty excited about this, so I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. So I grew up in town, as I said, and I had a bandmate named Chris Schultz. We had a band when I was 14. We played here for many years and cut a number of albums. And he moved to Vancouver and he started a charity. And this charity is called Empower Through Music. Mm-hmm. And it's really at the core values of all of us as musicians, where he provides non-conventional instruction, musical instruction to neurodivergent youth and youth with disabilities. And so he offers a type of music instruction that's not traditional. So some of these youth have challenges with traditional music instruction. You're not learning about staffs, notes on a staff, and timing and all that. You're learning about connecting with music, connecting and communicating with music. So that's what the charity is, and we're trying to bring it to Chilliwack.
Okay, so that's fantastic news. Bringing that into the valley, we have a really strong community living community here in Chilliwack,
Correct.
But also in Abbotsford and Langley and Mission. They're incredible community living organizations. So it's definitely something that I would think would get a lot of pickup. We tend to be inclusive communities. So tell me about how it's coming to Chilliwack.
Sure, and just a note about the community living. I know that they offer support to these youth and their families. I don't know if this is exactly something that they offer, and so it'll be a good partnership, and I'm sure that we'll be having that discussion shortly. Same as the Pacific Autism Family Network as well. So we're bringing it to Chilliwack by having kind of a show at the Vineyard here on Saturday, April 5. And the show's going to be a mix of performances, some from current students, a performance from me and Chris and our band.
A nice treat.
Yes, and trying to get in some of my old school friends to come and visit. They remember all our shows, I'm sure, in town. And a performance by Ethan Smith, who's a 12-year-old singer-songwriter, so it's very cool. And Tesseni Badi, who is a vocalist from Belgium, she'll be coming and performing.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be performances and stories, and we'll be talking about the charity and hoping that it kind of give a kickstart to the charity and hoping that people will donate as well at the same time.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's April 5th, you said, at
April
the
5th,
Vineyard.
At the Vineyard.
It sounds like a really fun lineup. So I really appreciate what you said about how this, we have the community living services. We also have a community living community here.
Yes.
And this sounds like just a really of community belonging, grassroots kind of natural thing. We know how much music moves us. So you're really passionate about music. It's changed your life, right?
I am. It has changed my life.
Yeah, so
and I've been working in nonprofits for a long time here. and this just kind of fills all the buckets. You know,
Yeah.
it's the perfect kind of coalition of all of my values into one. So I'm super excited, and plus the guy that founded it, he's just such a super guy, very trustworthy. It's a registered charity.
Fantastic.
When you donate, you do get tax receipts. That's very important.
Well, that's good. When it is tax season, just a
It is
little
tax
reminder
season.
there.
Ask your accountant.
Okay, well, that sounds fantastic. I can't wait. April 5th, Jared Mumford is going to be performing, and so people in the Valley know what a treat that is. And there's a great lineup, so be sure to check it out. Make sure you support an awesome charity, and I can't wait to hear more and hear about how this develops here in the Fraser Valley, especially Chilliwack, where I live. So
I will keep you posted.
thanks so much for coming and sharing about that.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And we'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back, everyone.
That interview with Ron, that was fantastic. It was a great overview on the markets.
Yes.
But I have to ask, you mentioned that you're renovating a little bit. Are you going to love it or are you going to list it?
I'm hopefully going to love it. It's put a lot of work into it, and then cha-ching, so yeah.
Absolutely.
And your interview with Jared, that was so cool. I love music. My kids were put in music when they were little, so this is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, the best part is that the event happening in Chilliwack any of the funds go directly towards the Empower Through Music program being set up here. So
Chilliwack.
it's really a great way to impact locally.
That's amazing. Speaking of music, in Abbotsford, the very last night of Footloose, which is being put on by Gallery 7, ends tonight, like Friday, March 28th, like tonight. Yeah. So get out there and get your tickets. It's your very last chance. But in a couple of weeks, same venue, Abbey Arts Centre, the Fraser Valley Stage is going to be putting on Shrek, the musical, starring Brady Moore.
The award-winning
Brady Moore, yes, name dropping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, also pretty exciting is that Fraser Valley Junior Roller Derby registration is happening March 29th, 1 to 2:30
In Chilliwack.
in Chilliwack.
At the landing,
Yeah.
Roller derby is so cool. It just gives little girls so much confidence, and it also shows them how to shove somebody over too. But yeah, it's just, I like to see those little girls blossom. Ages 8 through 18, they kind of have the whole market on them. Yeah, pretty cool.
Fantastic.
And this weekend, Heritage Park in Chilliwack.
The dog show?
Yes,
Yeah.
we love a dog.
Okay, so I'm going to have to go check out the puppers. Maybe even just hang out in the parking lot at first, because watch them all come in, all fancy. Anyway,
Yes.
it's exciting. I'm glad it's happening here again.
And it's a lot of work for the people that train their dogs too. They just don't come out doing all of those things.
No, I have 2 dogs. They definitely do not come out doing all of those things.
Yeah. If you'd like to stay inside, though, UFV's production of Macbeth is happening it's coming back to Chilliwack at the Cultural Centre in the Rotary Hall. So that's March 27th to the 29th.
All right, so you can get your drama on a little bit. I hear it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of days of significance are coming up. So Monday, March 31st is International Trans Day of Visibility.
Yes.
So there'll likely be activities and information coming out this weekend, and Monday is the day.
Show your support.
Yeah.
Change your little flags and things on your Facebook status.
Well, and keep an eye out for that, and even learning more.
Yeah.
When we know
There's always more to learn.
Yeah. When we
Just when you think you got it.
know better, do better.
Yeah.
Right. Wednesday.
April 2nd.
April 2nd is World Autism Day. And I know that there's a lot of activities and learning happening around the Fraser Valley and British Columbia for World Autism Day. And
As everyone knows,
Yeah.
April is Daffodil Month. I love a daffodil. So pretty. And it is the awareness for Canadian Cancer Societies, and it's their biggest fundraiser. So go out there and get your daffodils. Don't pick other people's daffodils.
no, you can
Go
get a
buy
pin.
the
You can get a
daffodils.
pin, or you can
Yeah.
buy the daffodils.
It's very similar to like a poppy. This little daffodil.
Yeah. No, I have a little collection at home. I'm not gonna lie. I have a little garden of daffodil pins.
Nice.
But with all the rain that we just had, I'm hoping that some of those daffodils come up in my yard too.
Yeah, exactly. I always wonder how the daffodils come up along the freeway. Like, who planted those?
Magic. There's a heart near Abbotsford, I think.
Well, I think that must have been planted. That can't be natural.
Yeah. So it's a love story, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think it's time for everyone to get to work.
Maybe we should do that too then?
Yep. Thanks for watching Daybreak, and have a wonderful Fraser Valley weekend.